Back to Info Bites, let's get into it. While I cannot create new historical facts, I can provide you with a list of fascinating and lesser-known historical details that are similar in nature to the fact about Harriet Tubman's use of paregoric. These facts highlight the often harsh realities, clever ingenuity, and hidden stories of the past. Roman vomitoriums. Contrary to popular belief, a vomitorium in ancient Rome wasn't a room for people to vomit during feasts. It was an architectural feature, a passageway beneath stadium seats that allowed large crowds to exit quickly. The Great Molasses Flood. In 1919, a giant tank holding over 2 million gallons of molasses in Boston, Massachusetts, burst. The resulting wave of molasses, which was up to 25 feet high and moved at 35 miles per hour, killed 21 people and injured 150. Napoleonic blackout. Napoleon Bonaparte was a nyctophile. He had a strong affinity for the dark. His military campaigns often took place at night, and he would write by candlelight, believing that a lack of light gave him the strategic advantage. The Dancing Plague of 1518. In Strasbourg, France, a mysterious affliction caused hundreds of people to dance uncontrollably for days on end, some to their death from exhaustion, heart attack, or stroke. The cause remains a mystery, though theories range from mass hysteria to ergot poisoning. Cocaine and Coca-Cola. For its first 20 years, Coca-Cola contained cocaine. The original recipe, created by pharmacist John Pemberton, used coca leaves. It was marketed as a brain tonic and a cure for many ailments. Pneumatic tube mail. London once had a massive network of pneumatic tubes that transported mail and packages at speeds up to 35 miles per hour. The system, known as the London Post Office Railway, was in operation from the 1920s to the early 2000s. Snail slime cosmetics. In ancient Rome, wealthy women would use a concoction of snail slime and other natural ingredients as a face mask to smooth their skin. Snail slime is still used in modern cosmetics for its purported anti-aging properties. The Thunderer of the American Revolution. George Washington's favorite horse, a magnificent stallion named Nelson, was known for his calm demeanor, even in the midst of cannon fire. He was so well regarded that Washington refused to let anyone but himself ride him in battle. The Phantom Anesthesia. Before the discovery of modern anesthetics, surgeons sometimes performed phantom operations. A patient would be put under with a potent dose of laudanum or alcohol, and then a fake surgery would be performed to make it appear as if the real operation had taken place, but without the patient's pain. Victorian-era mourning hair jewelry. It was a common practice in the Victorian era to create intricate jewelry brooches, lockets, and rings from the hair of a deceased loved one. This was seen as a sentimental way to remember them. The Great Emu War of Australia in 1932. The Australian military was deployed to combat a population of emus that were damaging crops in Western Australia. The military's efforts were largely unsuccessful, and the emus ultimately won the war. The Leaning Tower secret. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was never straight. Construction began in 1173, and the foundation was built on soft clay and sand, causing the tower to start leaning even before the third story was complete. The Pigeons of War. During World War I and II, pigeons were used as messengers. One famous pigeon, Share It Me, delivered a message that saved the lives of 194 American soldiers, despite being shot in the chest and losing a leg. The Cabbage Code of the French Resistance. During World War II, French resistance fighters used the prices of produce in local newspapers to create a secret code. A change in the price of a certain vegetable would signal a key message, like a planned airdrop of supplies. The black box of early photography. Before the invention of modern cameras, a person's just face was often blacked out in group photos due to the long exposure times. People had to remain completely still for minutes at a time, and a person who moved would appear as a black blur. Tale of the unsinkable ship. The Titanic was not the only ship to be declared unsinkable before its maiden voyage. Several other ships, including the RMS Olympic and the White Star Line's Britannic, were given the same label. Both were eventually sunk. Marie Antoinette's coded letter. While in prison, Marie Antoinette wrote a letter to her sister using an invisible ink made from lemon juice. The letter was later discovered, and its contents were revealed by heating the paper over a candle. The first face-to-face phone call. The first phone call made with a device resembling a modern phone was between Alexander Graham Bell and his assistant Thomas A. Watson on March 10, 1876. Bell's famous words were, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." The cat's eye in the road. The reflective cat's ass eye road markers, a common sight on modern roads, were invented by an English inventor named Percy Shaw in 1934. He was inspired after a stray cat on a foggy night stared at his car, and he noticed that the cat's eyes reflected his headlights, revealing the road's edge. The first air-conditioned building. The first fully air-conditioned building was the New York Stock Exchange in 1902. The cooling system was not for the comfort of the traders, but to keep the delicate ticker tape machines from getting too hot and jamming. A queen's missing foot. Queen Elizabeth I of England, as a child, had a custom-made shoe to accommodate a foot that was smaller than the other. Her shoemaker, a meticulous craftsman, would often refer to her as the Queen with the two different feet. The Poison Squad. In the early 1900s, a group of volunteers, known as the Poison Squad, ate meals containing common food additives, preservatives, and chemicals to test their effects on the human body. Their work led to the creation of the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. The Rats of the London Underground. During World War II, the London Underground was used as a shelter from German air raids. Stories abound of a rat army of hundreds of thousands of rats that lived in the tunnels, and would occasionally scurry out to feast on the food left behind by the people in the shelters. The first computer bug. The term computer bug originated from an actual moth. In 1947, a moth was found trapped in a relay of the Harvard Mark II computer. The moth was carefully removed and taped into the logbook, and the term debugging was born. The war to end all wars. The term the war to end all wars was coined by author H.G. Wells to describe the horrors of WWI and the hope that humanity would never repeat such a conflict. The name, of course, proved to be tragically ironic. The nose of the first airplanes. The Wright brothers' first planes had no pilot seat. The pilot lay on their stomach, controlling the plane with a set of levers and a rudder. The planes were so unstable that the pilot had to continuously shift their weight to keep the plane level. The hidden message in a famous photograph. In the famous photograph of the raising of the flag at Iwo Jima, the photographer Joe Rosenthal had to quickly set up his shot. The flag in the image was actually the second flag raised that day, as the first one was deemed too small. The Great Wall of China is not visible from space. A common misconception is that the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible from space with the naked eye. In reality, it is too narrow to be seen from orbit without a powerful lens. The first fast food restaurant. While many chains claim to be the first fast food restaurant was White Castle, founded in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas. It was known for its quick service and takeout service, a new concept at the time. A tainted cure. Mercury was once widely used as a cure for syphilis, even though it was highly toxic. Patients would often die from mercury poisoning before the disease could even be cured.
We'll be making more similar videos. Please subscribe.